Welcome everybody to another episode of the Midwest Racks and Rods Outdoor Show. I'm one of your co-hosts, Scott Biskobing, to my right.
Chris Damali.
And tonight we have joining us team member
Jason Schroeder.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode, guys. This is episode number 6 for us. And as you can see, we're all dressed in our Midwest gear here.
We're all coordinated.
Yeah, very coordinated. And that's because today we spent all day out at the Shalom Wildlife Zoo for the second annual Rut Roundup.
That is correct.
That's held in West Bend, Wisconsin, southeast Wisconsin. This is our second year doing this event with them. And Jason, do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what the Rut Roundup's all about?
Well, what it's all about is to educate the public and kids on the future of the whitetail world. And Shalom is the best place to do that. I've been going to Shalom since I've been a child. I'm like a family. It's like my family there. I've learned everything about deer and nature and everything. It's just one of the greatest places to go. You get to interact and up close with all different kinds of North American animals, even a couple of foreign animals, as we say, like the tigers and stuff, which they just started this year with the breeding program.
So they have tiger, they have bison,
they have
elk,
brown bear,
wolves,
red stag, just everything that you can imagine.
And what sets this place apart from others is that they say America's largest petting zoo.
Exactly.
So it's not like concrete enclosures. It's a total
it's all
open woods like setting.
Yeah,
I mean,
natural setting.
They do have shelters and stuff for the animals, but
but natural looking. More like the caves and everything.
Right.
It's as natural as possible. Not like zoos. There's no cement and stuff like that.
And
there's only one thin fence between everything and you. So
it's not that drop down like you have at the zoos where there's the big
you're actually up close feeding
like
elk out of your hand, like that 8x8 elk there, and all the rest of the elk and the red deer come up and eat once in a while.
Grizzlies or brown bears?
Grizzly bears, you bring your own oranges, and you actually see them peel it with their one claw, and then they eat it. It's amazing. Just what all the animals do if you ever sit there and watch them.
It's kind of got this wildlife sanctuary,
but
it's also
it is a
zoo.
sanctuary. It's a rehabilitation center also. It's kind of everything, but it's grown so big that it's now more or less into a zoo than a sanctuary.
And so, we were asked during the day, now out there we had a table, we had some, different antlers, things for the people they can actually, go up and grab antlers, fur, a bear skull. And we did have some of our hunting gear out there, a bow, a crossbow.
Cameras, just all the things you use in today's hunting world. Just to educate the public. A lot of people that come through there, as we found out, don't even know that deer lose their antlers every year and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to teach them that.
And just as important, we wanted to show the people that hunters, we're conservationists. We're not just killers. We don't care about the animals. In fact, it's pretty much the opposite.
Right.
Especially with me, I work in deer no matter where they are.
Well,
whether they're in a farm, zoos, wild. I've studied and watched them all my whole life, and I just love it.
But hunters and fishermen, through buying your licenses and things like that, go back into the DNR for the license.
Hunters we are the largest conservationists out there. We contribute more to conservation than any other group out there. And like you said,
I do it because people that see me think that I'm just out there to kill the animals, where I'm not nothing. That's just a small part of what I do. I'm more into helping and saving animals also, which more people, I try to balance out that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that I think a lot of the general public, there's this misconception about hunters. And it's not everybody, but there is this misconception out there that we're just in it for the kill. That we're trophy hunters or this or that or whatever.
I hear that all the time.
And that's really not what we're about.
How many years have you gone without shooting a buck?
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years now, and that's because I'm after a particular age group, after mature deer or whatever. and everybody has their different goals for what they want to do in terms of hunting and that. But this is some events like this are really great because it allows us to interact with the general public and kind of break down some of those barriers there and really show them that we love these animals just as much as they love to come out and watch them in the zoo or see them out in the wild. We love them too, and that's why we're doing.
Yeah, and Shalom's the greatest place to take children for education wise. I mean, in the family setting, because you guys seen it. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's like they're in the natural wild.
If you're gonna walk it, it's probably 2.5 hours, and that's if you're like cruising. I mean,
it's
not
3
really
miles.
looking. Yeah,
it's 3 miles worth of wildlife. In nature,
and it's on the left and it's on the right, and the elks were bugling and the wolves were out there.
The red deer were roaring today, and
they're starting. Everything's starting to run.
There's even a donkey hee-haw or whatever you call a donkey hee-haw.
He's actually a rare.
But that thing was pretty loud today too, so it's got quite the array of animals. But
and the elk were bugling, the fallow deer are starting. It's all going to start lighting up.
But it was sort of fun doing that. I mean, they had other organizations out there too. Whitetails of Wisconsin. They were out there and they had a great display of the different heads that they have. But it was fun and it's sort of, I don't know if you want to say an honor that Shalom asked us as somewhat of, I wouldn't say we're deer experts, but we're pretty knowledgeable of what goes on out there.
Certainly.
Some of those folks, I mean, the one guy from Whitetails, Wisconsin, he knows about all the genetics and
the breakdowns of CWD. He's with people,
all the genetics and the science behind it.
Right.
I'm not the science behind it.
Me neither. When he was explaining it, I was just like, oh,
it's all Greek to me when you get that. But just the love of the outdoors, and we study deer in a different manner, not through a microscope, but in their natural environment.
And working with them at their farm, at the one farm a couple weeks ago, is just amazing.
Yeah, Jason got a great opportunity to go see how they,
everything from scoring to putting them down and moving them to delivering them, and
270 class buck or something you said.
2-year-old 260 class buck at 2 years old. I mean, Brad has the best typical genetics there is that I've seen. He's one of the top in the nation. He's in many magazines.
Right.
As you guys seen his portfolio.
Right.
And many rack calendars his deer are featured in, and
I think
it's an amazing experience to hold deer in your hand that big. I mean, it's a no-kill farm, so it's just strictly for
you got to
CWD.
Go along when they had to tranquilize the deer, right?
Well, that we did right in the farm,
right? That's
to score them.
Yeah,
right. To score them and keep track of them. And
did you get to shoot, or did the guy shoot it and you just got to score it?
He did the shooting. I didn't want. Because we bring them. No, we bring them in from the pens, and you have to separate them and then bring them in through these tunnels that he developed, and then they go through these trap doors. So as they go through, you shut the trap doors. So that was amazing to me. It was so awesome. I was gonna post some videos. I think I did on the one, although. When I shut the gate of that really super big one.
Right.
That thing was just huge.
But, that just shows your love for the deer. You did that on your own time. It's like that's your job or something. It's just something
I wanted to do.
An opportunity to go
do and deliver deer to this one preserve was amazing because I've never actually seen a private preserve.
Right.
And it's not one that anybody can go and hunt, but
it's a private family one.
Family farm. They interlocked it all, the fencing around it, and just amazing place.
So, and then other than that, this last couple weeks, bear hunting, the open of archery season. How'd your bear hunt go?
Well, it rained a lot. Prior to the bear hunt, they had tornadoes up there, so just tons of tree damage. I've never seen so much tree damage before.
We had some of those bad storms there in July.
Yeah. It was crazy. But we had a lot of bears coming in, but it seemed like when opening day came, they turned nocturnal a little bit. They started coming in like
go figure
half hour after dark or at midnight. And then if I wasn't in my tree stand from my blind, because it rained a lot too, just always rained, which was weird for that time of year. But I'd go from my stand to the blind, and then if I wasn't in my stand, that bear would come in.
Sure. It's always where you weren't.
Right.
Yeah. Sort of like deer hunting, but you actually got out. How did that go?
Yeah, I got out last weekend on one of my leases in central Wisconsin. The weather was, it wasn't terrible weather for opening weekend. It's definitely better than it was last year. Last year for opening weekend, I think it was like in the upper 80s, heat indexes in the low 90s. Just absolutely miserable. The mosquitoes were terrible last year, but this year, yeah, we got out there opening morning, and I don't typically like to hunt a lot of mornings, but I was trying to pattern some of these hitless bucks I have, I guess, so to speak, a couple target deer that I have from the last couple of years, and I was hoping to get them on their summer pattern yet.
Right.
So I set up in one of my stands on the east side of the property, and within the first hour of the first sit, I had a fairly nice deer show up, and as most of you probably have seen the Facebook Live that I had going, and again, I apologize for the quality of that video, the terrible cell service for some reason this year up there, but yeah, I mean, he was a nice buck, one that I would probably consider taking at some point in the season if I'm not having an encounter with some of those other target deer, but you know, it's just one of those things. It's tough.
So when in the season? Now it's early September, and it was a decent 8-pointer, I think, right?
Yeah,
When would
got
you
a
say
couple.
it's time to shoot?
Oh, you know that my buddy Mike was up there with me too, and it's a discussion we had. It's kind of a circumstantial kind of thing. If he comes in and he's all of a sudden now he's getting my heart racing, he just didn't have my heart pumping at that moment.
Right.
You know, I was just like, he's nice, but I know I've got bigger deer out there. You know,
do the same thing, and then all of a sudden it'll be late season. And
Well,
I'm
right.
trying to
And that's what I'm saying. So,
yeah,
comes
it's
so
not
quick.
that we're trophy rack hunters,
right.
but everybody likes to see a big buck, and you don't want to end your season so soon.
Sure.
You know.
And I think everybody has different expectations for what they want to get out of their season. Now,
Right.
like you mentioned before, I haven't shot a buck now in several years, not because I didn't have opportunities.
Well,
by
and your
any
video
means.
proves you had the opportunity.
Right.
I think it was 35?
30, 35 yards.
So that was well within your comfortable shooting range.
Absolutely.
So you could have taken it.
Right.
So it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like an old a lie or anything.
Yeah,
Not
like,
just
oh yeah, I
blowing
could have shot
smoke.
this one. Right, exactly. Yeah, no.
You
there's-
actually have video proof it was in front of you. So
and it's really not about
But
impressing
that's-
anybody
yeah,
else either,
right.
too. It's
That's
just
the sad thing about it.
Right.
The video doesn't absolutely mean nothing.
right.
You know
Like
what I
I don't
mean?
have to prove to anybody.
Right. That's
That-
what I'm saying.
that
That's what's the whole problem with the world today. Kind of is the judging, and that's what our page is about. Not so judgmental.
Oh,
Let's
absolutely.
clear
yeah.
that up.
Yeah, I mean, we want everybody to be comfortable to
Like everybody
to
thinks,
hunt the way
yeah.
they want to hunt.
Right. Because like most
Kill
people
what they
think,
wanna
oh,
kill.
I'll only shoot a 180 plus
No.
or something like that.
Yeah,
but
right.
actually, I'm not like that.
you just have those
I
opportunities.
have the opportunities in the swamp, and
Right.
Sure.
it just, I mean, it's a big swamp.
Yeah.
Some of the deer you just never. see
No,
for
I just
years.
meant like he's not lying about his encounter on opening
Right.
day.
Yeah.
People seem
Right.
to spew that stuff, and it's not necessary.
Right. That's
It's
what
not
I'm saying.
right, and that's
Right.
exactly it. It's not necessary
Yeah.
to have to prove that to anybody. You're out there for yourself and you
Exactly.
only.
Yeah.
It's not a competition.
Yep.
With your fellow hunters. It's a competition between you and the deer.
Right.
Is really what it
Exactly.
is. So
it's the challenge.
Yeah.
most
otherwise-
definitely.
And you just put that stand up that day or the day before? or
No,
something?
that stand we moved about 100 yards from where it was. I like to move stands. I don't like to keep the stands in the same spot
Right.
from year to year. I think you're educating the deer. So even if it's not a huge distance, I like to still move them to different trees. And sometimes that's based on what the movement I saw the year before
Right.
or what I predict the movement's going to be like
But did
this
you
year.
just put it up that day? Or
No, it was about a week.
Oh.
About a week
But
and a
your
half
first
prior.
sit.
First
so
sit, yeah.
I think that's sort of cool. I mean, you get a decent buck within potential range on your first
Well,
sit. That's gotta.
I'm a firm believer that the first sit is in any stand is going to be your best opportunity. I think the longer you sit a stand,
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
that you're educating. As scent free as you think you are, you're trying to be. You're still leaving something behind that's
Yeah.
educating
Your
those deer.
dandruff, your dander,
Yeah.
all that.
Well, we don't have that problem. We have no hair.
Well, your skin.
Right? No, yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
The Baldies here.
So yeah, so
Well, I mean, I guess with that said, I mean, I think what kind of expectations or what, is there something? Is there a particular deer that's a target deer for you this upcoming season?
Well, actually, I met my target deer this year in Velvet.
Well,
I
that's
mean, that was
true.
a dream come true
Yeah, that's
buck for
true.
me. On the last day, it was awesome. Last day, I was ready to just thinking I was coming home with nothing, and
well,
it happened. It was like a pretty cool episode. But for my other property, this will be the one I'll be going after. I mean, I found his sheds 2 years in a row. I mean, this year he should be a good shooter. I'm thinking. I mean, these are last year's sheds.
so here he's 3.5. Now he's 4.5.
Yeah, and that's what I like to wait. At least let them get to 4 or 5 years old.
And those are.
I mean, there's no reason for me to shoot.
For most areas, though,
Yeah.
Jason. I mean, these are.
Got a
That
lot
could
of
be
mass to
an
them.
8-year-old, or I mean,
Yeah.
they've got a lot of mass, a lot of size, and some
Well,
places
this is
you
the
don't
property
see.
I've been hunting and managing for 15 years now, so I pretty much know every deer in that swamp.
Well, and
You
you
know
spend a
what
lot
I
of time out there,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I think it's cool when you can follow a deer just by its sheds year after year and see how they
I
progress.
run a lot of cameras too, though.
Well, right.
And
These are actually the sheds for one of my target bucks this year. His name is Robin Yount. So these are the sheds I got from this
so
last
he's
year.
about the same size as mine.
Yeah, getting pretty close there. So
And
this
we got
is
the
definitely
same
one of the
little front
guys.
ends.
Yeah, the little kind of crab claw
Yeah.
there on the end.
Yeah.
There, and he's got the broken tine
And
there.
that's from two totally.
I don't have
different-
any antlers to play with.
They're just
Here, you
Stop
want to play
teasing.
mine?
No.
They're just sheds.
No, in fact, I didn't go out opening weekend. It was a little too warm for me.
Me too.
I
mean, not too warm, but I was on that bear hunt, the velvet hunt, so I needed to
Well,
small.
Yeah, at least you got out hunting. I just stopped. I didn't go out just because it was, if I got to carry my climber, my gear, get out there, I don't want to sweat it up. It was just, I don't want to try wrecking the spot. I've had my cameras out there and I won't even go pull my cards.
Right.
It's tougher on public land when you got all that extra gear when it is warmer because you have that extra weight and gear. You're going to sweat a little bit more. When you're on private land and you already have your stand set up, it can be a little bit easier. You're not trudging through maybe as much stuff.
Right.
So
right, and I like to dress very light until I get out to the actual stand, and then if it's cold, then I'll put the rest on.
But it was
right
even
away.
still too warm just to go in a t-shirt
Yeah,
out there.
I know.
Absolutely,
85
And
is
then in
been
the climber,
lately.
as you go up, I mean, I'm a fat boy. I sweat as I climb, so I'll be the first one to admit it. But I don't want to wreck it. I mean, I haven't even pulled my cards. And I'm the person that pulls them at least every week, Well, yeah, I mean, but more so to just make sure my cameras haven't been stolen.
I like to go at least 2 weeks to a month. But now with the cellular cameras, I like it that I never have to go out there anymore. That's except for when you got to change the batteries, of course.
right, absolutely.
But yeah, I got to check mine and make sure they weren't stolen. And,
Right, that's what I take. You take a big chance on public land.
And you were talking about how, so you got to go out opening weekend and I didn't. Now the pictures or the deer I've been patterning, they are summer pattern. And I don't know, are they still going to be on summer pattern when this weather finally breaks to get cool? Did I just blow my only chance? I had some decent pictures of two different nice bucks. One was real wide, not so tall, but real wide.
Yeah.
And the other one was a pretty good mass, I think.
Right.
I don't even remember anymore. Was he a 12, a 14? It was hard to count.
Yeah, he was a really nice buck.
Yeah,
It was
he
sort
was
of
big.
every picture, every video I have him seems either he turns too quick or he's like half behind a tree. And so in that particular area where he kept coming in, he either goes left or right.
And they are.
I put up 3 cameras now, so I get him from different angles. I want to see what the heck he is. But
And determine where he's going and where he's
he
coming
splits
from.
off. Well, he did. I don't know if that's just it.
Yeah.
I'm biting at the bit to get out there. It's just too warm. But I know just based on that, I know where I would sit, what tree I would go up. But yeah, if either of those 2 deer came through there, if I'm still lucky to have one, I'd take them. I mean, just because public land, you don't get those kind of deer there too often. I would definitely take one of those 2 bucks. So
When you had mentioned the summer pattern and hoping that they're maybe still in that summer pattern, and it's really hard to tell on public land because there's so many variables there with pressure from other hunters.
the horse trails, the bike trails,
Right.
the snowmobile trails,
just hikers
the
and bird
ATV
watchers
trails that we have.
small game hunters,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people.
Squirrel hunters.
Full-fledged
yeah.
hunting right now.
Right. And is that going to make them all nocturnal? I don't know. There's a good bet that, one of the two are probably going to be nocturnal. And the size they were, I'd say they were probably 2.5-year-olds.
Yeah,
Big-
2.5, 3s.
Yeah, so they're not dumb deer. They're not young deer. They're not uneducated deer. So
Right.
chances are they may go nocturnal or, bust out to an area that's really doesn't have a lot of pressure on it.
Well,
So-
and that's the thing too. You had mentioned, or we had talked about the deer that I had passed up there.
Yeah.
Is that something that you guys have come across in any year hunting over the years, where you have a situation where you have a deer that's maybe marginal that say, oh well, maybe after gun season, if I had encounter with them and I hadn't had the encounters with some of those other target bucks,
Well, that's like I took that 8-pointer. I mean, it was getting near the end of the season. I had to get something, and and it wasn't the biggest that I've shot, but I don't like to go empty-handed all the time.
Well,
Either,
I have no problem taking does. They taste
Take
just
soup.
as delicious for this kid.
Yeah.
So I'll buy the extra doe tags. I mean, this year there's crazy numbers of tags being given
I
out.
got 3 of them with my regular archery license.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
that's
got 4.
insane.
Yeah.
I got 4 for in
Right.
central Wisconsin.
That's just so many and useless. That's just the clean house on the population.
It certainly would appear that way. That's for sure.
Right, and I'm not
Especially when you're coming
understanding
out with a roll like this, and I'm like, oh, I'm only here for an archery license.
Yeah.
And the thing came up that long, I was like, I don't need all them doe tags. That's just
But-
senseless.
Well-
unless sometimes I donate the meat.
I eat venison throughout the year, so
Me too.
like
Me
a
too.
month ago was the last time. So from last October when I shot my first doe, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. I mean, you're talking 8 months, 9 months. I've been eating venison. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
at least twice a week.
Me too.
So,
this year, a guy gave me some elk meat. Did you ever try elk meat?
Oh, I love
Yeah.
elk.
Yeah.
Elk is,
I never tried
is
it.
amazing.
So,
But so for 9 months of the year, I'm eating wild game, at
Yeah.
least 2 to 3 times a week. I get a bunch of sausage made, and my brothers love it, and
Yeah.
hey, give me some kind of thing. And so, I'm not only feeding myself, but others. And that's why
Sure.
I'll take a few doe. I mean, it's not like I'm shooting it and putting it in the dumpster. I'm eating it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's people eating
And
it.
it tastes good too.
Okay, folks, we're gonna take a break here,
Yeah.
and we'll be right back after a few minutes here. We're gonna regroup, and we'll be back.
Go from
Continue
there.
on with the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
So
Stay
stick
tuned.
with us. All right, guys, welcome back to our second segment of the number 6 episode of the Midwest Racks and Rods Outdoor Show. So we're kind of getting excited here for our team hunt that we have coming up here in October. We're getting together as a team this year to go on a public land hunt in, South Central Wisconsin
Yeah.
or Central Wisconsin.
should be fun.
We're going to be around...
What, second weekend of October?
Yeah, second weekend of October.
Right.
That's going to be. We're going to be with Elijah. We're going to be staying at his place, and he's going to be taking us out on some public land. So we're definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. So
That'll
no
be nice.
pressure, Elijah, but we all want to have big bucks. So
Better have
better
it
start
tied
doing
up.
the scouting.
Yeah, they're starting.
He's not here, so we can pick on him. But yeah, it should be fun. Very seldom do we all get the ability to be together. So
Right. I mean, it was nice for the 3 of us here to actually get together this weekend with that whole Shalom thing. So,
right.
But yeah, it's tough for all of us to get together. So we're definitely looking forward to that hunt here coming up here in October. So
Yeah,
expect us to go live, hopefully, from the field and
depending on the service.
Yeah,
Like,
depending on-
even
yeah.
on my bear hunt,
Right.
I couldn't get service all up there.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like if there's been some towers changing or whatever. I always had great service in central Wisconsin on my properties, and
Yeah, on our family property I always did, but it seemed like when I went over there for that bear hunt and that deer farm and all
Right.
that over up in there, I just don't get the good service on
And my phone is a horrible phone, so I can't. I'm on the internet at work, and if I want to send myself an email from the production floor, I have to go outside, go in, Roamer on my data. Oh yeah, and then to send something, I can't send it, right there. I don't know if it's my phone or the service there, but don't expect me to go live. I'll videotape something if I get something, but it may not be live.
At least
I'll
eat
try.
a big sandwich or something.
Yeah.
right.
Just kidding.
No, it'll be a good time. It'll be nice for us all to get together in that. So
Yeah, like you said, it's hard for us to all get together at the same time. Us, it's easier because we're all from West Bend, but Elijah lives up north.
Right.
So it's a little more harder for him to get involved in things, which is acceptable,
Right.
Yeah,
It's just
no,
the way
it
life is.
And it'd be nice to go
For us to go on a vacation to get away from here.
well, yeah, but
Hopefully-
just try someplace new. It's going to be a quick weekend. We're going to try going up on Friday morning.
Friday morning. Yeah.
Get up there around noonish, I guess.
There's
and
a lot of deer up there.
Sure, but
we have a
it's
really
fair.
good.
we don't know
chance.
what we're looking at. I mean,
Right.
Elijah's been in this area. Yes, there's deer, but
that's when you use your own instincts too.
and that's truly what it's going to be, because we're going to set up, look at it Friday afternoon, try to figure out our setup, and then Saturday morning we're going to start hunting. And
Well, I think anytime you're hunting a new area, it's important to use whatever tools you have at your disposal. Things online, maps, apps that are out there. Using the DNR site and that to understand where the public land is. What's private, what's public, what you can and cannot hunt.
right,
Take all
Elijah's knowledge,
right, absolutely.
where people park, he knows that stuff, and that's a lot of time hunting on public. Knowing where other people go into any property is a big part of it.
Oh yeah.
So they're pushing them this way. What time do they get there?
But I think for anybody who is going out hunting any new public land, say you're going on a DIY hunt in another state, and you don't have those kinds of resources of a local or somebody that knows that area at your disposal, I think it's really important to use those tools in that. And I think reading maps has kind of become a lost art to an extent.
Yeah.
Nowadays we have a lot of these apps that make it a little bit easier, but learning to read a topo map, I don't know if it's something that's really taught anymore.
I don't think so. I mean, they've taken a lot of things out of school. That's where,
like nature for one, animals. They don't talk about that anymore.
But I mean, they've even taken out like wood shop and home ec and all those things that people our age went through, and now they don't have it anymore.
It's really crazy.
Well, one thing I found when I go like up north, just hunting and not hunted an area before, is I'll go into the gun store or the archery shop or whatever.
Bait shop.
Bait shop. I'm new here. You're buying product from them. Can you suggest an area?
Right.
Where's a good place to start? What do I look for?
I think a lot of bait shops are good for when you're going fishing too. Even that's a good place to get a little bit of information on. Hey, what are they biting on?
Well,
I would think so.
If they can,
if they want your business back, they're going to put you on the right path.
Right. They ain't going to want you coming back.
But then again, what you hear from others, I mean, I don't think Elijah would put us on the wrong path, but bait shop guys are going to take the information they hear. They're in their bait shop, so what other guys say, so you got to sort of
going on.
Of course, the old coffee clutch kind of thing. So you got to take it with a grain of salt and, put your own twist on it.
Yeah.
But it's a good place to start. This place they always push this section of wood, so that's empty.
Mm-hmm.
It may be, but I would say, okay, I would heed that warning. Go to some place where do they not, drive the deer out, or I guess it depends on the info they're giving you.
How much of that information are you going to take, and how much of that information that you go out and get on your own in terms of reading maps and actually kind of going out and scouting, which one weighs a little bit heavier.
And online forums, same thing, the chat rooms or forums, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I prefer to scout
I
myself.
do too, but
because I like to use my my abilities,
Woodsmanship?
my woodsmanship. Thank you. And
Sure.
you know, I depend mainly on myself. Yeah, somebody can point me in a direction, but
I don't want them there with me. I just
Right.
point me in a direction.
it's just
I
like
want to make
out
sure I'm hunting
Wyoming.
legally,
Yeah.
not on some
It's
strange private property thing.
It'd be
you
just
know.
like
Yeah.
out in Wyoming, Mel, the old grandpa, we'd say, where do you want us to go? He'd be like, you go that way up there and you go that way
Yeah.
up there. But we'd always get our mule deer every year.
Right.
So it's,
I think it's a little bit different out there too. You know,
yeah,
it's
you
a
get
lot,
the woods and
Right.
all that. It's
Yeah.
pretty open.
You know,
Of course,
here,
and glass.
there's a lot more private mixed in on all these different areas that you know it can be hard to decipher sometimes unless you're using maps and apps
Yeah,
and
the
those
apps
tools to
really
figure out
help.
what's public, what's private.
Right.
So
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully
And, you know,
Elijah's got that all worked out for us,
You
and
better.
we just come up there for a
Yeah.
good time, and we don't have to stress out about
That's
it.
right. And if he hasn't done his homework, we're going to have one less team member.
We can always
after
cook
October.
him for dinner, right? We can always cook him up.
Yeah, at least the dinner better be good that he gives us.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
So one of the things coming
I'm
up,
not
though,
worried.
one thing's coming up that we just want to make people aware of. There is a youth hunt coming up. What is it? Which weekend?
October 5th and 6th, that first weekend in
Right.
October is the youth hunt here in Wisconsin. I know every state has them.
Right.
We didn't look up what all the different states dates are, but for Wisconsin, yes, the 5th and 6th is the youth hunt. So for any archery hunters out there, make sure you remember to take your blaze orange with
I
you.
know. I
You know,
forgot,
I forgot
a couple
that-
years in a row. I didn't even know it
It
because
didn't
I don't
even
have
faze
kids
me,
that
right.
hunt. You know,
Right.
my daughter's older, and she
But
don't
with
hunt.
the game wardens, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Right.
And it's for safety, obviously. But
I've had to run to the local sporting goods store
Right,
and
me
grab
too.
an orange
Like,
hat.
I got
and a
all the
vest
way
or
out to
something.
stand and realized, oh shit, gotta go all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I always learn to carry a spare beanie hat in the truck, no
Yeah.
matter what,
Yeah.
year round.
No, that's a good idea for
you know,
sure.
you throw it underneath somewhere.
one even like just a real light orange vest. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
granted, bow hunters, we don't want to wear orange, but
It is what it is.
you don't have to spend big bucks on
Right.
a high costs.
I mean,
vest,
honestly,
just something
right?
that goes over.
Even during gun season, that's all I wear. I wear my camo. I wear my scentlock camo. I put an
Me
orange
too.
vest over it. I wear an orange
right.
hat.
Right.
You know,
That's
just
it for
enough
me.
to be-
And then when
But
I'm
I'm
out
on-
there, the hood's up.
Yeah, I'm on private land though. You know,
Me too.
So
You still follow
to
the
be
rules, but
right,
yeah,
absolutely,
right.
still follow the rules. It's the law.
Right.
But I don't feel like I need to be as high vis. Now, obviously, if I was hunting on public land,
Oh God!
You know,
I'd
more-
have a
the more
full
orange, the
armor,
better.
Orange suit, I'd be like the pumpkin out there. you
Oh,
know, for
for
sure.
sure. Yeah,
you want
'cause
to be the red target.
it
you
can
know?
be it can get sketchy out
Yeah.
there on public land. for
That's
sure.
why I prefer to stick with archery.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hardly gun hunt. This year, I want to volunteer to mentor a child
That's a
in
great
gun
idea.
hunting. I'm not big into gun hunting, but I've done it my whole life. Obviously, I'm
Mhm.
from Wisconsin, but this year I want to just
Yeah.
sit with a kid and let him shoot one. off
Right.
the property
That's
or
great.
something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I get
But-
just the same thrill out of watching a kid shoot.
Oh,
And that's
as
the point
I
we
ever
were
got.
saying about the kids, though. Folks, too many people wait till like the week before gun season, and then, oh, my kid doesn't have his hunter safety, and
He hasn't gone through his field day.
right,
Yeah, field day.
so
it's the hard.
you still got. I mean, for the November season, I don't know what's open, but you can go on the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources website and you do the hunter safety online. I'm a instructor on and off here and there, and we all had to go through it just for our instructor thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're actually reading it now as an adult, and I understand exactly what they're talking about, it's about 7 hours long. The one I took.
Oh yeah.
Maybe there's different versions or whatever, but each step you have to complete, and they ask you questions before you can go on, kind of thing. Took about 7 hours, so I would say for a kid that's new to it, it's going to take a while, couple days, because they're going to either get bored with it or
Yeah.
it's too much at once, and I don't think. I mean, this is my personal opinion that a parent should do this and get done with it, or
You're right.
pressure the kid, they're going to lose interest, kind of thing. But one of the things, I know one of our kids this year in hunter safety actually failed. And very seldom do we fail a child. But it was evident that the parent did the online course for the kid. And that's one of the reasons they still have the kids or
Do the
whoever
field test.
go to the field day.
I know, because I went to one and they really test them kids out.
Right.
With the tree stand. When I did hunter safety, we didn't have that. I took mine through school, 7th grade.
Well, right. But when we do it now, I mean, we pass the gun under the fence.
Yeah.
Unloading it, the different actions of a gun. But the child didn't know anything. I mean, very little. So it's evident that the parent just, I'll do it for you. Now you're going to go to this, and I don't want to say in the past it was everybody passes thing, but it was evident this child either really forgot everything or that the parent did it. And I'm sort of going towards the second one. It was
sure.
There's one thing, kids get scared when you're not their parent. It's not like we yell at them or anything. If I have a kid that he's just not getting it, or presented to him in a different way, we all learn differently, and maybe the kid was nervous, but then I say, okay, he's not understanding it. I'd pass him off to Scott, and Scott would maybe use a different approach to him. Hey, let's try this, and in case the kid just didn't like me or is afraid of me or something.
You are kind of scary.
I know. Yeah, don't adjust your screens. I am this ugly. No, but so, we try to get these kids to pass, but it's more important that they understand it. And,
well, that's why they got to read it.
Well, and that's just it. And that's sort of my whole point. For me, someone who knew exactly what the test was going to say online, still took me 7 hours, maybe 6. I don't know. I mean, I got up, did stuff in the middle kind of thing, but it's going to take time. But more importantly is the field day. They close up so quick and they're booked throughout the year.
Yeah,
sometimes different rod and gun clubs, they'll hold an extra one or something, but you have to go on the DNR website. And once, I believe that the child enters their name, then they get a DNR number, then you take the online quiz or course. And then after you've completed that, you could sign up for one of the many different field days, courses kind of thing. And my daughter waited and waited and waited and waited. And seriously, I think it was a week and a half before gun season. She wound up driving 2.5, 3 hours just to take the field day thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, but that's what she had to do. She wanted to go hunting with me. They have that backup where I'm not even sure how it works, where the kid can sit with you, the mentoring kind of thing.
Right.
That's kind of what I like to do. Like the person that I gun hunt with, my good old friend every year. I mean, his son's coming up to age now, so I told him he can just sit with me, or you know what I mean.
Right.
So, but like you said, he has to go through the hunter safety. And now we're getting to the hunting season right now, so he's probably gonna have to wait another year.
Well, they can hunt with you, and that's just it. Now they don't have to.
With the mentoring system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it can only have to be like 10 right now.
That age changes, and I think
it's
they
10,
can be 10,
right?
but
10 in Wisconsin.
But
maybe you're younger now.
And I don't speak for the hunter safety of Wisconsin or anything. When those kids are sitting with you, when the adult carries the weapon out, that's fine. But what people don't realize is kids 10 years old, unless they're a taller stature, say carrying a shotgun, they're hitting that stuff in the mud. And they're not paying attention, and it's in the dark. And I'm not against a child going at all, but I still think the parent or the adult or the mentor should always have control of that muzzle.
Yeah,
I
believe it in the dark, especially.
Carrying it out and and just so people, I'm not saying people don't, but I think a lot of folks like to allow their kids to take that first step on their first hunt. And I think that's way too much. It's just the physicality of it.
Well, if they're young.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
started hunting at 12 by myself.
Right, but you were tall enough and,
woods, I didn't have anybody to take me out there.
Me neither.
So,
but we were big enough.
Right, and old enough. At 10, I feel that's a little...
Well, and even there's 12-year-olds that are shorter, but, as long as we know the muzzle's being controlled, you don't want to plug the end of your muzzle for gun or anything. So
right, exactly.
And not to go off on a tangent there, I'm just saying.
That's a whole nother subject.
But I think it's important that, the mentor control that muzzle until you're sitting wherever you're going to sit, and obviously be sure of your target and what's beyond the whole,
Oh, yeah, I always know that.
Absolutely. So, point being, guys, if you have a child that's interested in hunting this year and hasn't taken under safety, get on it now because the clock is ticking. And those classes and the field days are filling up fast.
Right.
And,
If not full.
right,
Yeah.
if not
Probably
full.
full by now already.
But it's still worth checking out, especially if you want to get that kid out there.
Well, and you can do the mentor hunt where the kid can still go hunting with you without the hunter's safety.
Yeah.
It's just a different. I mean, they can't hunt, away from you. They're stuck to your hip, kind of thing.
Right.
So,
Which isn't bad.
No.
Thing. It's a safe way.
I think it's a good way to start.
Right.
They can ask the questions and.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, outside of the youth hunt coming up,
our last day at the Shalom tomorrow.
Right, absolutely. That we got
Come
that
and
tomorrow.
see us, rain or shine.
We have some different seasons coming up here for waterfowl hunters. Goose, I think, has already started here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And we got duck hunting starting September 28th.
Pheasant week. Yep.
Next weekend. Pheasant, grouse, October 19th. I think in Illinois, their duck hunting season starts October 19th for the northern zone.
Yeah.
So I know, and some of these dates vary based on different zones, but good luck to all you waterfowl hunters out
post
there
some
as well.
pictures.
Yeah,
none of us really have time to waterfowl hunt because we're deer
We're always
hunters.
in the woods.
Little goose hunting and that, when possible. But share that stuff on our page, guys. We want to see all that as well.
Yeah, we want to see any outdoor activities that you guys are involved with.
Right.
Actually,
Right.
that's what the page is all about.
Yeah, pheasant hunters, you guys with your dogs or
Yep.
gals with your dogs. I won't be gender specific. No, I mean,
Right.
outdoors,
Guys,
family
girls,
events. If you're still camping, having a good bonfire,
Yeah.
share it. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, anything out in nature or outdoors, that's what we're about.
Right.
Absolutely. So, well, I guess that should probably wrap it up here for this week's episode. The season's just getting started, guys. We're all excited about the rest of the season. It seems like it's a long season, when it starts, but the time flies really fast.
Yeah.
It seems like a long time until the season starts.
Yeah, you got all
Right.
the holidays in there.
Holidays and work and everything else, and
Right.
boom,
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over quick, and
So-
it'll be November before you know it. So get out there, enjoy that time out there in the field. Even in
Leaves
this
are
early
changing.
season like this, we had
Right.
you and I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier today too. That it's maybe not always the most ideal conditions for hunting, but boy, even if you get yourself set up on the fringe a little bit, where you're not really disrupting some of your other
Right.
hunting, boy, you can't beat sitting in a tree stand this time of year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather be outdoors than sitting on a couch. I'll tell you that.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. I'd hope so.
All right.
So, all right, guys. Until next time, thanks again for watching Midwest Racks and Rods Outdoors Show. And as always, keep it outdoors, and we'll see you guys next time.
And good luck to all you hunters.
See ya.